Hello and welcome to the latest episode in On My Arty Bookshelf. Each month this year, I am pulling out one or more books from my bookshelf because I do indeed have a lot of books. Not these books, these are my daughter's books, but there are books all over our house. And I'm making a piece of mixed media art inspired by what I find. So this week, I have pulled out two books that I use quite often in art workshops for both adults and children. The first one, The Trickster's Hat, is a workbook with all kinds of creativity exercises by a local author by the name of Nick Bantock. I've done a few different exercises from The Trickster's Hat. So one of them was an exercise to create your own imaginary country, given a series of prompts, and then to make a postage stamp and a postcard. And this is my postcard that I made for my imaginary country. And another one of the exercises is this one, where you start out creating a collage made up of 4 different squares of paper, and then you cut those apart and you reassemble them. I've done this a few different times, and each time it's ended up looking quite different. And he says that it's a surprising way to work that can push your creativity in new and different ways. And I would definitely say that it did that for me. None of these pieces particularly look like things that I would usually make, especially this last one, which is actually the first piece that I made. And I call it the missing link. It's either Charles Darwin with a series of his missing link creatures, or Sigmund Freud with some creatures from his imaginations. So you tell me, what do you think? Is it Freud or Darwin there with those unusual creatures? So today I've paired that book with this one, Monsters Love Underpants, because really, how can you not laugh at Monsters Love Underpants? And I use this book a lot when I do kids classes because they are always so engaged in what they're doing when they create art around this book. So here are some things that some kids and adults did last summer at a workshop at the library. I took a workshop with Bantock quite a few years ago. One of Bantock's exercises that we did during the workshop, and that is included in his book, he threw down a bunch of postage stamps and he said, grab some postage stamps, tear them all up, and make a monster head. So I'm putting those two together, and I'm tearing up some of my postage stamps and making monster underpants, because that's pretty funny, isn't it? Now, my friend who introduced me to the female artist group also introduced me to a collage artist named Lou Beard, and I've been following him on Instagram and really enjoying the collages that he posts that he calls scrappics. Now, his Instagram handle name is 420 characters, but they're really great. He'll just take papers, magazine papers, and he'll just cut out his shapes without any sort of attention to what they started out with, and he gets really interesting humanoid features. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm again pulling out the pages that I had torn out of my book a couple of weeks ago to create the Frida collages, and I'm just trying to really not pay attention to what the images are and just cut them out to make my humanoid shapes. I did do the faces without planning, and just, letting them be whatever they were. And that seems to be going really well, and I kind of like the way it's turning out. Then, I can't resist these carrots. I love them. They're just awesome. Maybe they'll make some good legs, but we'll see. Maybe that's not substantial enough there. We'll have to see. Maybe they'll go somewhere else. But the carrots make kind of fun hair, don't they? I think I like them better as hair than I did as arms and legs. But I'm going to cut out these bottles here for the legs. I really like those bottles, and I can't help it. I like the shapes as the objects, but at least I'm using them in quirky, fun ways. Here's my finished piece. When I was gluing it on, I flipped over that one piece and I liked the way that the back of the head that I hadn't planned looked better than the front. So things evolved a bit. Now I've covered up those bottles because I decided that they shouldn't look quite so much like bottles. Anyway, is this the best collage I've ever done? No. Did I have fun making it? Did I channel that experience of being a child and creating without any fear or judgment? I think I did. I'm going to call this a success, even if it's not the best piece of art I've ever created. It's a piece of art, and you've got to create a lot of bad art if you want to create good art. Anyway, once again, as always, thanks so much for indulging me and watching my loosey-goosey, imperfect art making process. I'm really happy to have you here, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye for now.